Yo, what's going on YouTube? I'm Evan, this is Marksman Trading, and welcome to my trading journey. Today is March 5th. It's a solid green day. We're up $117.50 in the prop firm account through Apex. We traded two longs on the NQ today. We scaled into one trade, which almost went right on us. We almost lost on it, but we didn't. I'll show you guys how I didn't stop out, even though there's two stop hunts on the trade. Didn't stop out, and we got out for green, which was awesome. And we took one small scalp with one MNQ earlier in the morning. So let's get to it. All right, so here's the first trade I took in the NQ, and I took one MNQ contract down here at 950. I got filled at 1837, went long, and then I took it out 1 minute later up here at 18,060 at 951. So the reason for this trade was, one, we were at a key level. This is a demand zone. We kind of at the bottom of it, and I'll show you that. That's based off of the hourly chart. So we respected it here, here. We're rejecting it over here, but kind of a supply turned into demand type of thing. So also, the second idea for this trade was, we've been just dropping since we opened yesterday. So futures opened the day prior at 6 o'clock in the evening. So we opened, and then we just bled the entire day, overnight, pre-market. Right from open, we flushed. And so I'm thinking, okay, we're just about the ATR, which is the average true range of the NQ. And I believe the ATR is, 252 points. And so we're just about almost had a complete ATR from the highs from up here at like 18,252. And so we had a little bit more room to go. And I didn't like how exhausted we were, but I was still looking for that reversal, right? Because we're definitely extended. We definitely need kind of a relief bounce. But I didn't like how we didn't just flush out right away. We kind of flushed down a little bit, had a bit of a pullback, flushed down again. And so that's why I took such a small size and just a quick scalp, because I was really looking for more of an exhaustion move right from open to kind of flush and then a V shape right back up. But it didn't look like that's what it was going to give us. You have to trade, what we see. We can't always, force our own bias onto it. And so as you can see, we flushed down, popped up, flushed down one more time. We had this green engulfing candle, and I got in on this green kind of retest candle. Once it kind of pulled back, got soaked back up. And then I took it quickly because I wasn't expecting it to completely reverse all the way back up. And that's because, like I said, we weren't as extended from open as I want us to be. Even though we were still extended on the day itself, the price action wasn't quite what I wanted to see for a complete reversal. And that's why I also didn't take much size on it, because I didn't want to risk a ton of money on a trade that really wasn't, what I wanted to see just quite yet. So yeah, that trade made us $45, I think, roughly. I'll double check that, but I think that was about $45 trade off of one MQ contract. So I think that was like 20 points just about. So yeah, can't beat that off of one contract. That's pretty good. All right, so here's the second NQ trade I took today. It was the last one. As you can see, we scaled into this trade, and we made about, I want to say 70 something bucks on it, because we had about 117 on the day. So yeah, it was a good trade. It was stressful. I was in it for about an hour. We entered at 10:33 and left at 11:26. So almost an hour trade. I was definitely my mental capital was definitely kind of burned through a little bit. We survived two stop hunts, one here at 10:42, one at 10:50 or 10:49. So let's explain the thought process behind this trade. So the thesis I had for this trade was relatively the same as the one I took earlier, but it was less of a scalp in mind and more of a macro move back up. And the reason for that was we were even more extended beyond the day, right? We were way past the ATR of 250, well beyond that. So we're definitely kind of stretched out, and the market's like a rubber band. A lot of times when it stretches out, wants to snap back. So I was expecting a pullback, maybe into like 18,000. That's a key level. And also on the daily chart, you can see we tapped the 20 SMA in the daily. And that's key. A lot of people watch that to join trends and stuff like that for swing trades. And so we had that key level. A lot of people were looking to buy it down here as well. We had this demand zone here based off of the hourly chart. Not the one from earlier, but a lower one. And so, wow, look at that flush. Wow, that's just crazy extended all the way to the downside. And so that was my macro thesis for going long down here. But I kind of screwed up the scaling process. I scaled in too fast, and I definitely wasn't patient and kind of a bit too high for my entries. So I like the time I took my first starter at 10:33. That was a solid candle to scale in on, but I wasn't patient. I got it right when it opened at 17,942, and then it kind of popped up, close above the 1 minute 9 EMA, finally, for the first time since like 10 o'clock. And so I was like, okay, that's a change in the tape. I'm going to enter on a dip back down. And I really didn't even let it dip much back down. I got it at like 45. So my average now was like 43. And I probably shouldn't even have taken that one because, it's going to retest the 9 EMA constantly. So that really wasn't too much of a tape change. That was me kind of just forcing myself to scale into that trade. As you guys know, I'm $500 away from getting funded from the Apex one. I'm about $400 away from getting funded through Apex because we made $100 today. But I was risking, max risk today was $500 on a trade. And I was looking to, maybe take half of that in this trade because we were still so heavy and we weren't as extended as I'd like to see, a straight flush all the way back down. So that's why I was scaling in. And by the time I scaled in over here at 1044, we were risking roughly $200, I think, to like the lows down here at like 908. So I scaled in that second one at 1037, and then we kind of flushed one here. This is the stop hunt at 1042. Got ramped right back up. I took my third scale in, which I like the scale in right here at 1044. A lot of times we'll see stop hunts and the market will kind of rip up from that because they collect liquidity, stop people out. Shorts get trapped and then they have to get back in and cover. Longs kind of buy off of that. It usually ramps right back up. So I like the scale in at 1044. Just I shouldn't have gotten that high. Should have let it retest 30s. I should have honestly had like a 30s average, not like a 41 average. So we ripped right back up and then flushed right back down. And I was like, okay, this time if we break the low of this 1049 candle because that tested the 20 SMA, I'm gonna get out. And we kind of barely did, but we got wicked right back up fast. So I just gave it a second just to make sure it didn't do what it was gonna do at 1042, which it did, and ramped right back up, then retested, and we kind of just chopped around for a while. And then finally we had one last flush, and then we got ramped right back up. And I took off a piece up here at like 50s because we were kind of hitting that level, struggling with getting past that. And I kind of wanted to de-risk a little bit because I had 3 contracts. I experienced about $200 in drawdown all the way down here. So, if we moved right back down again, I didn't want to experience that much of a loss when I'm already up I think it was up like $70 at that point off 3. So I just de-risked a little bit because I was definitely uncomfortable. I'm not used to being trades for that long. A lot of times that's what you want to do in trading. You want to be comfortable, and that helps you manage risk better and stuff like that. And so then we kind of had one pop up at 1121, got off one at 17,960 on that kind of volume pop. And then we rejected there. I was trailing it with a 1 minute 9 EMA. As soon as we closed below it and held below it, I let go of the last one at 11:26 at 17,950, 0.25, something like that. So it was about $100 or $70 trade, something like that. So it was decent. We actually really didn't get that move, that macro move I was looking for anyways. We actually broke down even lower today. But it was a good scalp, and I did a good job of not stopping out when I shouldn't have. Even though it was definitely risky and wasn't a good R to R trade, I'm definitely getting that efficiency down, having better win rates and, better stop outs. So my win rate is increasing, but when I do stop out, it's generally going to be higher than what it used to be, but still a solid trade management. My only issue with this was maybe I shouldn't have scaled out of that last one, but, I think that's okay because I was uncomfortable in the position a little bit at that point. And then maybe I should have covered up here with the last one at 17,960s, and my scalings should have been a way lower average. So from now on, I just need to be patient when looking to scale in. I made a video about how I tend to, or it was like a short video on how I tend to kind of rush my scalings too fast on the front side of the move before it has a chance to prove itself. So honestly, probably shouldn't have scaled in there at 1037, could have scaled in at 1051. So yeah, I like the candles I scaled in on besides 1037, but I should have still been more patient because I could have had a better entry. Alright guys, that's the video. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. As you guys can see, I actually have a code now. If you guys use my code at checkout, if purchasing an Apex eval account, you get 71% off right now. I think it ends in 8 days. I can actually pull it up real quick. Yeah, 8 days we end, and 71% off. We have 3 days to pass it, so you don't have to pass it within 3 days, but you can pass it in 3 days. Most Apex eval accounts, you have to trade at least 10 days. But right now, they're allowing you to pass it in 3 if you want, and 71% off, so it's a pretty good deal. Use my code. I got it right over here, as you can see, right below my face cam. And yeah, thank you guys so much for checking this video out. God bless. Peace.